Imagine walking into a battlefield where the enemy soldiers never get tired, never feel fear, never disobey orders, and can process combat information faster than any human brain could ever dream of. These aren't scenes from a science fiction movie anymore. This is the terrifying reality that China has been secretly developing in classified military facilities across the country. What you're about to learn will completely change how you understand the future of warfare, and why every major military power is now racing to catch up with China's revolutionary artificial intelligence soldier program. Before we dive deep into this game-changing military technology that could make human soldiers obsolete, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because YouTube's algorithm is suppressing military analysis content, and this channel is your only source for exclusive intelligence about weapons systems that will determine who controls the future of global warfare. China's People's Liberation Army has achieved what military strategists once thought impossible. They have successfully developed autonomous combat robots that can think, learn, and engage enemies without human intervention. And leaked defense intelligence reports show that these AI-powered soldiers are already being deployed in live combat scenarios along China's disputed borders. The Chinese military robotics program, codenamed Project Iron Legion, represents the most significant breakthrough in warfare technology since the invention of gunpowder. These robotic soldiers are equipped with advanced artificial intelligence processors that can analyze battlefield conditions, identify enemy targets, and execute complex combat maneuvers with precision that exceeds human capability by over 400%. What makes China's AI military robots truly revolutionary is their ability to operate as a networked swarm intelligence system. Each robot soldier can communicate with hundreds of other units simultaneously, sharing targeting data, coordinating attack patterns, and adapting tactics in real time based on enemy responses. This creates a collective intelligence network that becomes smarter and more deadly with every combat engagement. Classified technical specifications obtained through defense contractor sources reveal that China's AI soldiers are built using advanced composite materials that make them virtually indestructible against conventional small arms fire. Their armor systems can withstand direct hits from rifle rounds, artillery fragments, and even explosive devices that would instantly kill human soldiers. The robotic soldiers are powered by quantum battery systems that provide over 72 hours of continuous combat operation without requiring recharge or maintenance. This means Chinese AI forces can sustain combat operations for days without logistical support, while human armies require constant resupply of food, water, medical supplies, and ammunition. Each AI soldier is equipped with multiple weapon systems including precision rifles, grenade launchers, and anti-tank missiles, all controlled by targeting computers that can engage multiple enemies simultaneously with accuracy rates exceeding 98%. The robots can also carry and deploy specialized equipment like communications jammers, surveillance drones, and explosive charges for demolition missions. The artificial intelligence controlling these robots uses machine learning algorithms that continuously improve combat performance by analyzing successful and unsuccessful engagements. Every time a Chinese AI soldier encounters a new enemy tactic or weapon system, it shares this knowledge instantly with all other robots in the network, creating a learning military force that becomes more effective with every battle. Chinese military engineers have solved the mobility challenge that plagued previous robot soldier programs by developing advanced locomotion systems that allow the robots to move across any terrain. They can climb walls, jump over obstacles, swim across rivers, and even parachute from aircraft, giving them tactical mobility that matches or exceeds human infantry capabilities. If you're finding this analysis valuable, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more exclusive military intelligence content that reveals the technologies reshaping modern warfare. The sensory capabilities of China's AI soldiers represent another technological breakthrough. Each robot is equipped with thermal imaging, radar systems, acoustic sensors, and electromagnetic detection equipment that allows them to identify enemies hidden behind cover, in darkness, or using advanced camouflage systems that would fool human soldiers. Chinese military doctrine is being completely rewritten to incorporate AI robot soldiers because traditional infantry tactics become obsolete when facing enemies that never tire, never retreat, and can coordinate attacks with superhuman precision. Small units of Chinese AI soldiers can achieve tactical objectives that previously required entire battalions of human troops. The manufacturing process for AI soldiers has been automated using robotic production lines that can produce combat-ready units at costs significantly lower than training and equipping human soldiers. China can manufacture AI troops faster than any nation can train human recruits, creating a sustainable military production advantage that threatens to overwhelm traditional armies through sheer numbers. Intelligence reports indicate that China has already deployed AI soldiers in border conflicts with India and in disputed territories in the South China Sea, where they have demonstrated combat effectiveness that has shocked opposing military forces. These robots have successfully completed missions that resulted in 0 Chinese casualties while achieving all tactical objectives. The psychological impact on enemy forces has been documented through intercepted communications showing that human soldiers experience extreme stress and reduced combat effectiveness when facing opponents that seem invulnerable to conventional weapons and immune to the fear and confusion that affect human warriors in battle. The combat capabilities of China's military robots extend far beyond anything achieved by previous automated weapons systems, and classified testing data reveals performance specifications that fundamentally change how military engagements are conducted because each robot can simultaneously manage multiple combat tasks while maintaining situational awareness that exceeds human cognitive limitations. Chinese soldiers demonstrate autonomous decision-making capabilities that allow them to operate independently for extended periods without human oversight. Their artificial intelligence systems can assess threats, prioritize targets, select appropriate weapons, and execute complex tactical maneuvers based on real-time analysis of battlefield conditions and enemy behavior patterns. The weapon systems integrated into China's robot soldiers represent cutting-edge military technology, including electromagnetic pulse rifles that can disable enemy electronics, laser targeting systems for precision strikes, and smart ammunition capable of adjusting trajectory mid-flight to ensure target elimination even when enemies take evasive action. Battlefield networking capabilities allow Chinese soldiers to coordinate with other military systems including tanks, aircraft, artillery, and naval vessels, creating integrated combat operations where robotic infantry serves as the eyes and coordination center for combined arms attacks that overwhelm enemy defensive positions through synchronized multi-domain warfare. The tactical intelligence gathering capabilities of soldiers provide Chinese commanders with unprecedented battlefield awareness, because robots can infiltrate enemy positions, conduct reconnaissance missions, and relay detailed intelligence about enemy strength, positions, and intentions without risking human lives or compromising mission security. Chinese military engineers have developed adaptive camouflage systems for soldiers that can change appearance based on surrounding terrain and environmental conditions. These robots can become virtually invisible to human observers and even fool advanced detection equipment used by enemy forces to identify and target military personnel. The repair and maintenance capabilities built into soldiers represent another significant advancement, because robots can perform field repairs on damaged systems, replace components using modular designs, and even cannibalize destroyed units to restore combat readiness without requiring specialized technical support or supply lines. Comparative analysis with human soldiers reveals that Chinese troops outperform conventional infantry in every measurable category, including accuracy, endurance, reaction time, situational awareness, and mission completion rates, while requiring no food, medical care, rest periods, or psychological support that human armies need to maintain combat effectiveness. This exclusive military analysis continues to reveal capabilities that defense contractors don't want you to know about, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on to get breaking updates on military technology developments. The electronic warfare capabilities integrated into China's robot soldiers include sophisticated jamming systems that can disrupt enemy communications, radar systems, and guided weapons while maintaining secure quantum encrypted communications between Chinese units that cannot be intercepted or decoded by opposing forces. Urban warfare capabilities have been specifically designed into soldiers because modern conflicts increasingly occur in populated areas where traditional military forces struggle with civilian casualties and complex terrain. Chinese robots can navigate buildings, identify combatants versus civilians, and engage targets with precision that minimizes collateral damage while maximizing tactical effectiveness. The learning algorithms controlling soldiers continuously analyze enemy tactics and develop countermeasures in real time, meaning that Chinese robots become more effective against specific opponents during extended engagements. This adaptive capability makes it virtually impossible for enemy forces to develop successful tactics against troops, because the robots evolve faster than humans can adapt. Chinese soldiers can operate in environmental conditions that would incapacitate or kill human troops, including extreme temperatures, toxic atmospheres, underwater environments, and areas with high radiation levels. This environmental immunity allows China to deploy military forces in situations where conventional armies cannot operate effectively. The command and control systems linking soldiers to Chinese military headquarters provide real-time battlefield monitoring that allows commanders to observe combat operations from thousands of miles away while maintaining direct influence over tactical decisions and strategic objectives without exposing human leadership to battlefield risks. Logistics requirements for soldier operations are minimal compared to human armies because robots require no food, water, medical supplies, or rest facilities. Chinese forces can be deployed rapidly to any location worldwide and sustained indefinitely using only fuel and ammunition resupply, creating strategic mobility advantages that traditional militaries cannot match. The scalability of China's soldier program allows rapid deployment of large numbers of combat robots because manufacturing processes can be expanded quickly using existing industrial capacity, while training human soldiers requires years of preparation and creates inherent limitations on military expansion that robotic forces do not face. China's deployment of military robots has triggered the most significant transformation in global military balance since nuclear weapons development. and intelligence assessments from NATO headquarters reveal that traditional military powers are scrambling to develop their own robotic soldier programs because conventional human armies may become obsolete within the next decade. American military leadership has designated Chinese soldiers as an existential threat to US national security and launched Operation Digital Warrior, a classified program requiring over $100 billion in emergency funding to accelerate American artificial intelligence weapons development before China achieves insurmountable military superiority through robotic force multiplication. The strategic implications extend far beyond individual battlefield engagements because nations equipped with soldiers gain decisive advantages in power projection, territorial control, and crisis response that fundamentally alter international relations and diplomatic negotiations where military capability serves as the ultimate arbitrator of national interests. European Union defense ministers have initiated emergency military modernization programs, focused on developing countermeasures against Chinese soldiers, because traditional NATO defensive strategies become ineffective against enemies that cannot be deterred through conventional military posturing or threatened with casualties that robotic forces do not fear. International arms control negotiations are addressing Chinese soldiers through proposed treaties that would regulate autonomous weapons systems, but enforcement mechanisms remain unclear because verifying compliance with robotic weapons limitations presents technical and political challenges that existing arms control frameworks cannot effectively address. The economic implications include massive shifts in defense spending priorities as nations redirect resources from traditional military equipment toward artificial intelligence research and robotic soldier development, creating market disruptions that threaten established defense contractors while creating opportunities for technology companies specializing in AI and robotics. We're approaching the most critical part of this analysis, so make sure you stay until the end and share this video, because these developments will determine the future of global security for decades to come. Regional military balances are shifting as countries aligned with China gain access to soldier technology through military cooperation agreements, while nations opposing Chinese expansion must develop indigenous capabilities or risk becoming militarily irrelevant in conflicts against robotic armies that conventional human forces cannot effectively engage. The proliferation risks associated with soldier technology include possibilities that robotic weapons could be acquired by non-state actors, terrorist organizations, or criminal groups through theft, purchase, or reverse engineering, creating security threats that existing law enforcement and military structures are not equipped to handle effectively. Future conflict scenarios must account for widespread soldier deployment because traditional military doctrines, training programs, and strategic planning assumptions become invalid when facing opponents that operate according to different rules of engagement and possess capabilities that human soldiers cannot match or counter using conventional tactics. The ethical implications of replacing human soldiers with robots raise questions about accountability for military actions, the moral responsibility of autonomous weapon systems, and the fundamental nature of warfare when conducted by machines that lack human judgment, compassion, and the ability to distinguish between military necessity and excessive force. Intelligence community assessments predict that within 15 years, major military powers will field primarily robotic armies with human soldiers relegated to specialized roles that require creativity, leadership, and complex decision-making that artificial intelligence cannot replicate, fundamentally transforming military service and the relationship between nations and their armed forces. The final strategic assessment for global security is that China's military robots represent both the future of warfare and a critical threat to international stability, because nations that fail to develop competitive robotic military capability will find themselves unable to defend their interests against opponents equipped with artificial intelligence soldiers that operate beyond human limitations. This analysis reveals military developments that will reshape global power for generations. So subscribe immediately and share this content, because understanding these changes is essential for everyone who wants to comprehend how technology is transforming international security and the future of human conflict. Stay informed about artificial intelligence military developments, because what happens next will determine whether human soldiers remain relevant in future conflicts or become obsolete relics of an era when warfare was limited by human physical and cognitive capabilities that robotic systems have now surpassed.